Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this webinar. My name is Bethel. I'm 19 years old and I'm a gender equality and human rights activist. And I'm also an economics and politics student. And as Mofi said, thank you so much for joining. We're really excited to share with you guys our journey, our academic journey, and our journey through activism and Girl Up. So I'm going to pass back to Mofi as I just share my screen.
Thank you, Bethel. Now, I tend to do this, but if I haven't already, my name is Mofi. I am a STEM and gender equality activist, and I currently serve as the UK Teen Advisor for Girl Up, which both Bethel and I will talk about a bit more. And what we would like to do today is speak to you more about what activism is, and more importantly, our journeys, so you can see where you are along the line, and if this is something you would like to join in with, if this is something you would like to educate yourself more about. We just want to have a bunch of answers to possible questions you have. And if not, at the end, we would love to answer questions you do have. Okay, Bethel, when you are ready. So that's the first question and the most important, I think. What on earth is Girl Up? I'm going to hand over to you, Bethel, to explain this one.
Yep. So Girl Up Campaign is a United Nations Foundation initiative founded in 2010. And basically, the goal is to achieve gender equality, but not just gender equality, gender equity amongst adolescent girls around the world. It's quite evident that we live in a world where there is a lack of equality. Women don't have access to the same opportunities that men have. So the whole point of Girl Up is to develop young leaders, to educate them on the social issues that are happening. There are a lot of issues that happen in the world that we don't learn in the classroom. So Girl Up gives you that environment and that space to learn about all these problems. It also allows you to have so many opportunities through Girl Up. I've been given so many speaking opportunities, so many volunteer opportunities, and I've just been given the opportunity to um, make tangible change and make sustainable change in the world.
Thank you, Bethel. Now, the reason we are here, I think more importantly, is one of our main goals as London Coalition leaders, which again, I apologise that we're chucking all these terms at you that we'll get into, is we have to explain what Girl Up is. If we were to get on a plane and fly to the United States, Girl Up is an established organisation and everyone knows what's going on there. But it's not quite the same over here, which is why we're here talking to you and which is why we're working with schools to get Girl Up clubs into as many secondary schools in the UK as possible. Now, entailed and what you can find in a Girl Up club is a group of like minded individuals. We had the pleasure of starting up a Girl Up club back when we were both in school, and we had lots of little girls and boys coming in wanting to learn more about who we are as human beings and who Girl Up is and what we can do. And we watch them grow and develop confidence. And as we'll get into, we will tell you how you can start up your own Girl Up club. We watch these people come in and flourish, and we handed them the statistics, like Bethel said, the stuff that's not taught in schools. And we spoke about the taboo conversations that aren't talked about in the household as well as in your schools, however, are just as pressing issues. So I've said that we are London Coalition presidents. What that means is we are overseeing London and the UK as a whole to get these Girl Up clubs started. So when you start a club, if that's something that you look to do, we will be your main point of contact. And we want to make sure that we can provide you with the resources and we can provide you with absolutely everything and anything you need to start up a successful club. So we've kind of divulged into the deep end because it's always good to get into the core. But our Girl Up journeys and how we started, I think, is just as important. If we can go back a little bit, Bethel. Thank you. Sorry, I do that a lot. We went straight into the good stuff. So, if I take you back a couple of years for the day I properly met Bethel, we were at an activist event called We Day. Now, this was held in the O2 Arena, and we had such inspirational members of society from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to Naomi Campbell to Lewis Hamilton, absolutely anyone, you name it. Now, these people are all figures we're all aware of, and they are also people who have activist journeys. These are people who fight for climate change, fight for girls' rights to education. And it's one of the most empowering events. So if anyone's ever looking into that, it's completely free. Get your schools to sign you up. It normally happens in March, and it's a great experience. So I met Bethel, and we went to the same school, but had yet to really engage in conversation due to our age gap. And I remember her talking a bit about Girl Up. At the beginning of the next academic year, she asked me if I wanted to be a part of the Girl Up club she was starting, and it was obviously a no-brainer. Since then, I've been engulfed in the really, really familial Girl Up community, and I've been able to work with girls across the globe, fight for gender equality, and to educate girls on the sector of STEM. So I'm a STEMinist, and that's because we have so many girls who are great at their maths, their science, technology, etc., but aren't supported to get into that field. And at the moment, as it stands in Girl Up, what we're doing is doing our best to make sure we can provide all of these girls and all of these people with such opportunities. Bethel, what was your journey like? How did you start, and where are you now?
So my Girl Up journey was a bit different to Mofi's. Mine started in, I think, year 10. I was probably 14 or 15. And I was just randomly scrolling through Instagram, and um, I came across Cara Delevingne's Instagram, and I saw her volunteering in Uganda, which is the country that my family's from. So it caught my eye. And then I just looked into Girl Up, and then I registered. I was given the chance to register for the Leadership Summit. And through that opportunity, Girl Up sponsored me to go to Washington, D.C. and attend this Leadership Summit. And when I attended the Leadership Summit, I was the only person from the UK there. So they were like, would you like to get more involved and take Girl Up to the UK? And with that, they provided me with all the resources I needed to do so. And I was able to come back home and start a club in my school, um, and lead different people in different aspects. And from then on, the opportunities have just been coming. I've had the chance to work with Disney to create a short film, to inspire young girls to dream big. As Mofi mentioned earlier, she's a Girl Up Teen Advisor. I was a Girl Up Teen Advisor 2 years ago. With this, we were able to go to DC, to New York, to come up with different ideas to make change. And right now, Mofi and I are currently coalition leaders with the aim to start clubs in school throughout London. Our goal is to start a club in every single secondary school in London, which is a very optimistic goal, but we believe that we can do it. And hopefully, after this presentation, you guys will be inspired to jump on this journey.
Perfect. Let's move on, Bethel. Let's actually get them involved. Let's give them the tips and the tricks that they need. So, why do we want you to join Girl Up? If I'm going to be extremely blatant, opportunities galore. Okay, you join a community where you have access to reaching friends, because that's what they become, dotted all across the globe. Okay, having friends in Korea, having friends in Brazil, having friends in the States, having friends who are like minded and who will do their absolute best to help you pursue a goal that you want to achieve, all with the common interest, of course, of social injustices that are passionate to you. Joining Girl Up was a no-brainer for myself, and I would like to think it's the same for anyone who we advertise it to, because you are honestly given a platform to use your voice, not to just learn how to use it, but you're actually given opportunities like this one to use it. Okay, now that's one of the important things, that we're constantly on social media and we're posting and we're retweeting our opinions and our views, but we find that it just gets washed up, and that it's constantly just being reused, and that things that are trending aren't necessarily always the important things. With Girl Up, there's a clear divide between this, and we're able to actually go to the forefront. We watched over last summer the George Floyd protests, and I can't even count how many Girl Up clubs were leading protests, how many Girl Up club members and community members were at protests. And there are so many feasible changes, for example, legislation being changed, traveling around the world. You know, we are still teenagers and we are a community of the younger generation. Such opportunities aren't as common, and it's why we are respected and given the opportunity to sit at the table. I hope that was a convincing argument. And if not, check out the Girl Up website, check out the Girl Up Instagram page, and see for yourself. We are currently holding our virtual summit. This is something that would happen in DC every year, but because of current times, we have adjusted. We have the likes of Malala speaking and really encouraging and empowering our youth. Last year, we had Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton, and women who are just as captivated towards the work that we do, that we are, and there to support us along the way. Next slide, please, Bethel. Club registration. All right, Bethel, how do they start up a club?
So starting up a club is actually really easy. So once you've decided that you want to start a girl up club, all you need is a room and a minimum of 3 to 4 people. Now, what you do in the club is completely up to you. As a coalition, we think it's our responsibility to provide you guys with the resources that you need in starting a club and going through your club. But this is just to aid you in the beginning days or throughout your whole journey. But you can do whatever you want in your clubs. You can talk about whatever issues your club members want to talk about. It's literally up to you. All you would need is probably an adult that from your school that knows that the club is going on, but the adult doesn't have to be present in the room at all times, because at the end of the day, you starting a club is a safe space for the members in your club. So if you don't feel comfortable having an adult there, then that's fine. But as you could see in the previous picture, in this picture here, this was us attending the second UK Leadership Summit, and this was probably only a quarter of the members in our club, because Girl Up was so popular within our school. So many people wanted to register to attend this event, but unfortunately not everyone could come, and we had to make it a competition for people to be able to come. But this just goes to show the influence that Girl Up has had in our school. The people in this picture were in year 7 at the time. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mofi, but they have found out about Girl Up from such a young age, and they're going to take this with them throughout the whole school year, and it's going to be something that's very present and prominent within our school. The next thing that we're going to speak about is the requirements once you start a club. And Mofi, if you can continue from here, that would be great.
Course. So, as much as it's a couple of pals and a room, there are a few things that we at Girl Up need you to do just to make sure that we establish this relation. So, we have at least, an email that we're kept up to date with what you're doing. So, if there's an event you wanted to hold, we can provide you with the funds and we can make sure that you have everything you need within reason. So, you need to, and I say you, your executive your executive board rather of your club, because you are to have a president, vice president, treasurer, someone in charge of the socials, just your essential team that really do sit at the core of your club. You need to then complete club status reports at the beginning, middle, and end of your school year. So that's 3 times in 365 days. It's not too much, just so we know what you're doing and talking about, and so that you can proudly show off the hard work that you have been doing. You need to host 5 Girl Up activities and submit 5 activity reports per school year. Now, of course, this stuff kind of goes in one ear and out the other. So when you start your club, you will be given packs that have all of this information, and there is no need to stress about that right now. So here we have listed, you can educate, advocate, fundraise, or serve. These are the types of topics we try and make sure you use when you're holding an activity. So Bethel has already said you honestly have the freedom to do whatever you want, but that's obviously within the ethos of Girl Up and being an activist and finding out more about social injustice is important to you. Of course, you are to recruit and help spread the word to get the Girl Up movement just as prominent over here as it is in the States. You need to set up your leadership board, which we have spoken about. What we hope to provide you with is something called a presidency, like a legacy notebook. So the person who leads your club will write a lovely letter, which is then passed on to your next leader. And that's someone that the executive board team kind of oversee as the next best thing for your club. You are to maintain your club page, which is now in the form of an app. I have the app on my phone. It's called the Girl Up Community. So you can go ahead and download that now if you wanted to. And yeah, let's move on to some tips that are going to help you start your Girl Up club.
Sorry, I was muted. I just wanted to add on from the last bit that although we led a club in our school, we participated in all these events, we attended leadership summits. This was made possible because we had the support of our school. So that's one thing that's really important. And another thing that's really important is to remember that you can do this alongside like your education. So we were still in school at the time. Mofi is still in school at the time, yet we're still doing this. So don't let your education or your academic journey put you off from being involved, because they can both come hand in hand. And in the future, having all this experience is really amazing. So that's just one thing I wanted to add. But now we're going to go through some tips to get you started with your Girl Up club if you do decide to start a club and get involved with Girl Up.
All right, so you have 3 things to do: to check in with your club advisor, to set goals, and to organise your first meeting. These are kind of all of the admin things to really help get your foot in the door. So when we say to work with a club advisor, hello, hi, that is us. We as your coalition leaders, and we have a team of executive leaders who are our branch and our arms and support system in helping make sure everything runs smoothly. So you can check in with us and we will leave you with our Girl Up London email address, so we can help you with whatever it is. You obviously need to set goals, because outside of having this club in life, setting goals is a necessity. If you set a goal, you're basically writing your future, and then you know what you have to do to work towards getting that goal. Organising your first meeting is quite the most hilarious thing, because you find that there's always talks about starting it, but when are you actually going to organise what's going to go on and then go on to attend that meeting? So those are a few things that we need to consider between starting and implementing the first few steps. Alongside your goals, you need a plan. We have a plan which is a nice backboard for you, because it's an idea that you can go ahead and follow, or you can just use as guidance. There are the club activity ideas again, and our resource hub, which will be full of nice gold bite-sized videos from people in the corporate world and the non-corporate world, honestly giving you tips about how to elevate a pitch and how to grow in confidence, and all of these things that are not taught in schools. So it's very, very simple starting a Girl Up club, and I hope that you can see this. This is obviously all of the more technical things we are going to show you, so you don't think starting a club is as easy as, hey, come on in and let's talk. We want to make things official just so we can help provide you with merch and with funds and with any support that you need. All right, getting active. Bethel, do you want to give some examples of some activities we held and what they can possibly do?
So there are a lot of activities that you can hold. One of our first activities was a film screening. I can't remember what film it was. Actually, it was a TED talk that we watched, but it's honestly up to you, up to the people in your club, what the theme that they want to follow. So a film screening is quite a good first activity. It's really exciting. You can also use it as a fundraiser. So like, pay £1 to get into the film screening, and then you can donate that money to a specific cause within the community that you choose. You can do a fundraising bake sale. Our club personally decided to do that, and we were able to raise, I think, around £300, and this money was donated to girls in Malawi to provide them with bicycles, so they could access their education. Um, you can do you can do talks and presentations and hold competitions. So ask everybody in the club what they're passionate about, and then tell them to present that in a unique way the following week. So we had people performing, we had people singing, we had people doing poetry, we had people doing art, and it was just an amazing experience to see people present their passions in their own way. But there's just so many things you can do, and the first thing to do is to just start to jump straight into the deep end. Social media is your best friend, so use social media to reach out, to network. I think that's extremely important, to ask questions, organize, connect with different organizations. I think that's amazing. Although Girl Up is its own organization, you still have the chance to connect with other organizations and learn from each other. Um, and also doing things like meeting with local politicians. Members of parliament love speaking with young people. So use your age to your advantage to reach out. And even if they don't reply or you get an automated response, don't let that put you down. Keep on trying. That would be my last bit of advice, is to just keep going. If you're passionate about something, you will achieve your goal. And we've seen that throughout our whole activism journey. We've had so much rejection, yet we don't let that set us back. We use that to drive forward and to keep going to change the world. So that's it from our presentation. Um thank you guys so much for listening.